Tony D and Little Joan, and this is your screenwriter's rant on 3 movies that don't look too original. One's called The Killgrin. I think you probably know what that means. Next is Fear Street Prom Queen. And then finally is Diablo, starring Scott Adkins. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 17. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I think, beginning with the Killgrin here, I think this can be summed up in one YouTube comment. And that is this. Where'd it go? Oh, it's gone already? What the hell? Not smile, but frown. But that wasn't it. Somebody said, I wonder why... oh, here it is. I wonder why they changed the name of Smile 3. Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like a low-budget version of Smile 3, although somebody here posted that my brother plays the Killgrin, low-budget movie, but still kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, that seems to be what it is. The still for this movie is a woman who's sort of trapped in a smile, and looks like, you know, like when the Joker poisoned someone in Batman with his special Joker venom, and they were stuck in a smile, kind of like that. So I strongly suspect that's how the kills roll out, but they don't show it in the trailer. See, right there, they kind of do. I'm not sure what that means. And because they're kind of trying to hide their deal, April 25th, by the way, yeah, it doesn't really come across what the story is all that much. Just a bunch of shots of random actors in various places, following one particular girl who seems to be the protagonist and her dad. So she's the main character. So it'll probably roll out first act. Something happens, and you know, something negative happens to the woman, and she keeps seeing this shadow or this thing, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Second act, she hears about, I don't know, some sort of legend, or they she talks to her dad about it, and he seems to know something about it. It's this weird idea that pain, there's so much pain in the world, and it leaks out and it manifests itself in some bizarre way. And then, of course, the Killgrin gets bigger and bigger and bigger and more powerful and kills people. And then by the end of the second act, you're confronting it. And by the third act, you're actively trying to kill it or destroy it in some way. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be a strong concept. See, here's the grin again. After a personal tragedy, bingo, Miranda explores unconventional self-help methods only to learn from a spiritual healer that she has an infection of her aura called a Killgrin, which she thrives off her misery. An infection in her aura. That's a new one. Director Joanna Tissanis stars, I don't recognize any of the actors. It's kind of in my wheelhouse. Would I see it? Maybe. I don't know. Doesn't really excite me. Maybe if it was on streaming and people wanted to watch it, I'd watch it. I'd watch it with the group, that kind of thing. Next up is Fear Street Prom Queen, based on R.L. Stine. This apparently is a rehash, yet again, of 80s slasher movies involving a high school and a prom and yada, yada, yada. Girl wants to be prom queen, and it's 1988, and you recognize the music, or at least I do. But there's a terrible killer on the loose. And I don't know if this is an actual story from R.L. Stine, or else it's something based on something he wrote. And yeah, so it's a slasher movie. Slasher movie. Rated R for adult situations. May 23rd, if you want to see it on Netflix. I think this is part of the other slasher movies related to Fear Street. I guess there's a Fear Street universe. So, first act, there's a prom, and a girl who wants to be prom queen, but she has many rivals, and good for her, I guess. Second act, the prom's coming up, but people are being murdered, but nobody realizes it yet. Maybe one or two people die or whatever. Then the prom happens, and then people start to get really butchered, and there's a killer on the loose, and then the prom queen girls have to band together to kill the slasher guy, whoever he is. Yeah, here we go. Prom at Shady Side High is underway, and the school's it girls are busy jockeying for the crown, but when the candidates start to disappear, a gutsy outsider learns she's in for one hell of a prom night. Okay. Sure, Jan. Sure. Would I see this? No. No, I don't want to see this. Because it looks like, again, just and it's an all girls slasher movie, it appears too. So all the main characters are girls, and then I don't know, I guess mostly it's guys who get murdered in this. So Matt Palmer directs, writers Donald McCleary, Matt Palmer, and R.L. Stine credited as writers. Yeah, seems pretty pretty generic to me. And finally, there is Scott Adkins in Diablo. Pretty standard actioner. This time he's going to Bogota, Colombia, where all the drug dealers are, to get revenge. So first he kidnaps this girl. Her mother was killed by her father, who's the drug dealer, but maybe Scott is the actual father of the girl. I don't know. And he's going to get revenge on the drug dealers, and he's like a fighting machine. He's an action guy. He's not bad. He's got good moves. His acting's okay. I mean, and then this is the guy he's going up against. And I think there's a video game character that has this weird look where he's bald. It's kind of cool. They've got him like all decked out with a metal hand and a knife hand, and he's a total psychopath. So he's got a good villain. I mean, it's pretty cartoony, don't get me wrong. And this is obviously like fake bald guy. You know, you could just see the hairline where his fake baldness begins. So it looks like a fun movie in terms of the moves and whatnot. Whoa! Story-wise, I don't think that's really the focus. I think the focus is kind of two big fighters. Scott Adkins are going to tear through the normal guys. And, eventually have to fight the bald guy in a couple of situations. Here he is, initially being wronged by the drug dealer, I guess, and somehow he survived. So, I would see this. It looks like a lot of good action. This dude is appropriately menacing. He's a big guy. So, he's got big scars on his back. I think they show him in the beginning, if I could find it. They call him the Kill Scott Adkins. Yeah, I think he... I'm not sure if he's bald in that shot. Let me see here. See, there he is. Can't tell if he's bald in that shot, but they show off all his scars, and here he is in his home life, I guess, building guns and nasty weapons to murder people, because that's all all he does. No, maybe he is bald. I don't know. But Scott Adkins got the moves. Seeing it kicking dudes in the face. So yeah, I would watch this, even though it's it's gonna be the same old same old. First act, Scott Adkins is wronged by the drug dealers and possibly left for dead. Second act, he's coming back for revenge, so he kidnaps the daughter of a kingpin, but he may really be the father or something like that because he was in love with the mother or something like that. And now, first he tries to convince the girl of who he is and what's going on. She doesn't believe him, but he saves her life on many occasions by murdering many, many people. But eventually the drug dealer gets her back, but leaves Scott Adkins alive to save her at the end. And then he tears through, the drug dealers and eventually rescues her and reunites in the end. So, Diablo, let's look at that. Not Diablo Cody. Wrong Diablo. That's 2015 Diablo. There it is. So, Scott Adkins and Marco Zaror. He's got a good look. I bet he's not really bald, though. Chris Cheney, a recently released ex-convict, embarks on a perilous mission. He kidnaps Eliza, daughter of Vincente, a powerful gangster, which puts them in danger from El Corvo, a psychopathic killer seeking revenge against Vincente's family. All right, bit convoluted. Still on board. Director Ernesto Diaz Espinoza. Writers Matt Sampson, Scott Adkins, and Marco Zaror. Let me see if Marco's real picture, if he's bald. Nah, see, he's not really bald. I knew it. He's a Chilean martial arts star. Really? I never would have guessed he was Chilean. He looks more American with that head shaved and the glasses. But, all right. Let's rank these. So you got Diablo, Fear Street, or the Killgrin. I gotta be honest, I would put Fear Street, the prom queen, on the bottom. I know it's R.L. Stine, but this feels very corporate to me. Feels very sort of like, oh, we gotta do an 80s one now. I don't know. Is this a real R.L. Stine book? I sense that maybe it's not. It's just based on his stuff. So, and I hate 80s slasher movie nostalgia. That's like all the 80s is good for anymore. Like, oh, we got to do a slasher movie. Let's do 80s nostalgia. And then the Killgrin is more of a 2020s sort of slasher. It's more psychological, but it's basically the same. Kind of a knockoff of Smile, I think. Not particularly... Yeah, this and Fear Street are real close to me. I probably wouldn't see either one of them. And then on the top, I would see Scott Adkins in Diablo. Because at least it'd be cool martial arts. I mean, even if the plot goes nowhere, at least you see some cool stuff with dudes getting shot and kicked and stuff. That'll be cool. Anyhow, that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check me out on Friday, that's tomorrow, at 5 p.m. at the Unexpected Farm First Spring Market, I think it's called, something like that. Starts at 5 p.m. Unless it's pouring rain, I'll be there. And goes to dark. Then on Saturday, I'll be at the Whitehall Manor. Whitehall Manor, that's in Fieldsboro, New Jersey, from 10 to 5 for the paranormal conference there. And then on Sunday, I'll be in Seabright, New Jersey for SeaCon from 10 to 4 at the Rec Center. So hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.